Little girl ran to the bikers crying, "They're beating my mama." What the bikers did left everyone speechless. The roar of engines had just begun to fade when a small hand grabbed the sleeve of a leather jacket. She couldn't have been more than 7. Barefoot, tear-streaked face, hair tangled like she'd been running for a long time. Her chest heaved as if every breath hurt. "Please," she cried, her voice cracking through the parking lot. "They're beating my mama." The bikers froze. Moments earlier, the place had been loud with laughter and chrome. Dozens of motorcycles lined outside a roadside diner off a lonely highway somewhere between small-town America and nowhere in particular. Riders from the USA, a couple from Canada on a cross-border trip, even one quiet guy with a UK flag patch stitched onto his vest. They'd stopped for coffee, pie, and stories. No one expected a little girl to come running out of the dark. The man she grabbed, everyone called him Big Joe, looked down at her, his weathered face suddenly stripped of every hard mile it had traveled. He knelt so fast his knee hit the asphalt. "Hey, sweetheart," he said gently. "Slow down. Tell me where your mama is." She pointed with a shaking finger toward a cluster of rundown apartments across the road. One building stood darker than the rest. No lights, no movement, just a heaviness in the air. "Please," she whispered again. "They won't stop." Big Joe didn't ask who they were. He stood, turned, and gave a look to the others. No words, just a nod. Engines came back to life. Not roaring this time, but steady and deliberate, like a heartbeat finding its rhythm. Jackets zipped, helmets stayed off. One of the women riders, tall and calm, wrapped her arms around the girl. "I'm Sarah," she said softly. "You're safe right here with me." The girl clutched her like she was holding onto the last solid thing in the world. Across the road, the apartment door was half open. Inside, the air smelled of old smoke and fear. The shouting stopped when the bikers filled the doorway. 2 men stood there, stunned, fists clenched, eyes darting over leather vests, steel-toed boots, and faces that had seen too much to be impressed by threats. Behind them, on the floor, was the girl's mother. Her lip was split, one eye already swelling shut. She tried to sit up when she saw strangers, panic replacing pain. "Don't," Big Joe said, not loudly, but firmly. "She stays where she is." Something about his voice made the room go quiet. No punches were thrown, no dramatic heroics, just presence, heavy, undeniable. One of the bikers quietly stepped outside and made a call. Another crouched beside the woman, offering her a jacket, then a hand. "You're okay," he said, though everyone knew she hadn't been a moment ago. Sirens came faster than anyone expected. When the police arrived, the bikers stepped back, hands visible, calm as stone. Statements were given, evidence was clear. The men were taken away in handcuffs, still trying to look tough, still failing. The little girl watched from Sarah's side, eyes wide. Her mother was wrapped in blankets now, sitting in the back of an ambulance. Before the doors closed, she reached out. "Thank you," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Big Joe tipped his head. "Take care of your girl." She nodded, tears sliding silently down her face. Most people thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. The next day, one of the bikers, a quiet Canadian named Mark, couldn't stop thinking about the apartment. About the broken doorframe, about the way the girl had run like she knew exactly where to find help. He made a few calls. By the end of the week, things started changing. A safer place was found. Not fancy, but clean. Secure. Sunlight through the windows. The kind of place where footsteps in the hallway didn't make you flinch. Another biker knew a lawyer. Another knew a social worker. Sarah stayed in touch with the mother, checking in, bringing groceries, sitting with her during appointments. They didn't post about it. Didn't tell stories at rallies. Didn't wear it like a badge. They just showed up. Weeks later, the diner saw the rumble of engines again. This time, the little girl was waiting. She wore sneakers now, clean ones. Her hair was braided. When she saw the bikes pull in, she ran, not in fear, but in excitement. She stopped in front of Big Joe, holding something behind her back. "I made this for you," she said. It was a drawing. Crayons on folded paper. Stick figure bikers standing in a circle. In the middle, a little girl and her mom, holding hands. Above them all, A bright sun. Big Joe swallowed hard. That's the best thing I've ever gotten, he said. Her mother stood a few steps behind, healthier now, steadier. She met their eyes, one by one. The engine started again soon after, carrying the bikers back onto the open road, toward different cities, different borders, different lives. But in that small town, in that quiet diner parking lot, something stayed. Not the sound of motorcycles. Not the fear. Just the memory of strangers who listened when a little girl cried, and didn't turn away.